There's a weight that comes with flying at night, something about the hum of the engines, the darkness outside, and the quiet that lets your mind go places it usually avoids. Monica Ellison sat still, her face dimly reflected in the oval airplane window as the lights of Tulsa flickered below. Her red-eye flight had been uneventful, but her thoughts weren't. It wasn't just exhaustion she felt, it was something deeper, not physical, not even emotional. It was the fatigue of leadership, the exhaustion of always being the answer, the fix, the final call. Everyone leaned on her, and today that weight felt especially heavy. But despite that heaviness, she wasn't thinking about burnout. Today, her focus was sharp. She saw an opening, a window. Her company, Blue Slate Systems, had built its name slowly and quietly. No flashy investors, no corporate puppeteering, just sharp talent, brilliant systems, and relentless drive. And now, after 5 years of under-the-radar growth, she was ready to scale. The firm she had her eye on, Darrow Creative Group, small but skilled, strong design team, known for edgy branding and clients in niche sectors. But the leadership? Wobbly. That's what caught her attention. Chaos meant undervaluation, and undervaluation meant opportunity. She hadn't scheduled a meeting. Monica liked to walk in cold. There was value in seeing how a place ran when no one knew they were being watched. The receptionist's reaction told her more than any portfolio or financial statement ever could. It was barely 7:30 a.m. when Monica stepped out of her Uber and faced the reflective glass structure nestled downtown near Boston Avenue. The city was still rubbing the sleep from its eyes, sunlight stretching long and lazy over the sidewalks. Dressed in a navy hoodie, with a discreet logo stitched above the heart, jeans and scuffed Converse, she looked like someone who had just pulled an all-nighter debugging code. Not exactly what most imagined a CEO carrying a potential $6 million, 0 cents investment would look like. Inside, the building was clean and modern, with the kind of minimalist art that whispered, "We're innovative," a little too loudly. Soft jazz murmured through the space. Monica walked through the lobby toward the reception desk. There, a woman in her mid-20s sat, shoulders hunched, head down, phone in hand, acrylic nails tapping a rhythm against the screen. Monica stood quietly for a moment, no reaction. She cleared her throat gently. "Good morning," she said, voice even, calm. "I'm here to see." "Deliveries are in the back," the receptionist interrupted. Never looking up, Monica blinked. "Sorry, I think there's a mistake. I'm not." "You're early anyway," the woman added, strolling without pause. "They don't take walk-ins." "I'm not here for a walk-in," Monica said, holding her tone steady. "I have a meeting." That made the receptionist finally glance up. She gave Monica a brief dismissive look. "Hoodie, sneakers, black woman, carry on," and let out a soft laugh. "Right, a meeting." Monica didn't flinch, didn't explain, just stood silently, letting the weight of that moment settle. The woman raised a hand, defensive now. "Look, I don't know who you think you're here to see, but you can't be up here. You need to leave." Monica stood still for one more second. Then she nodded once, turned, and walked calmly out the door. To Taryn, the receptionist, it was nothing. Just another overly confident stranger. What happens all the time? Startups, hustlers, people trying to slip in and pitch their dream to the wrong person. She didn't think twice, slid her AirPods in and went right back to TikTok. Outside, Monica stood near the curb, wind gently pulling at her hoodie. She checked the time, 7:42 a.m. Still early. Still calm, not angry, not even surprised, just reminded. Her grandfather once told her that how a company treats people who can't offer them anything is the only real culture test that matters. That memory came rushing back now like a tide. She opened her Uber app again. Always another option. 14 stories up, the Darrow team was starting to arrive. Kenji Morris, the firm's founder, strolled in with a smoothie in hand and high hopes swirling in his chest. "Did Monica Ellison confirm?" he asked his assistant while adjusting his cuffs. "She said she'd arrive this morning." "No exact time," the assistant replied. "Okay, good. Let me know the second she walks in." Kenji was wired. This meeting was the break they desperately needed. 6 quarters of slow decline, clients drying up, internal tension, morale low. Monica could be the reset button. With her support, they'd get not just funding but credibility. Blue Slate's reputation carried real weight. By 8:15, everyone had arrived. The leadership team, bright-eyed and coffee-fueled, had run through the pitch 5 times. Kenji was pacing, rehearsing his opener under his breath. Everything was lined up. All they needed was Monica. At 8:34, Kenji's optimism began to crack. He took the elevator to the lobby himself. As the door slid open, he spotted Taryn at her usual post, chewing gum and scrolling. "Did a woman come in earlier?" he asked urgently. "Black woman, mid-30s, hoodie with a white logo carry-on bag?" Taryn tilted her head. Yeah, I sent her around back. She didn't say anything about a meeting. Kenji felt the blood drain from his face. Did she give her name? She didn't, Turin shrugged. She just looked like delivery, one of those tech startup people who wander in. Kenji didn't respond. He just stood there, phone in hand. No text, no emails. He called Monica's number, straight to voicemail. Back in the elevator, the walls felt smaller. He leaned against the side, palms slick. He knew exactly what just happened and how catastrophic it was. At 8:52, while the Darrow team scrambled for explanations, Monica sat across from Derek Shaw, founder of Sparrow Plus Slate, a competing firm she'd had on her radar for months. They hadn't topped her list initially, but their office welcomed her without question. No pretension, no assumptions. Up on the 14th floor at Darrow, the energy had shifted. The air was brittle. Kenji stood at the head of the table, eyes on the untouched notes in front of him. The team waited for answers. None came. He cleared his throat. Obviously, something went wrong. Let's not jump to conclusions. Alyssa, you said you emailed her again? I did, twice. No response. I called too, left a voicemail. Andre, head of business development, leaned back, frowning. This isn't about a missed message. Someone downstairs messed up. Big. Everyone looked at Kenji. He rubbed his temples. Taryn said she thought Monica was a delivery person. Silence. Then Shelby Tran, brand director, snapped. She what? Told her to go around back, didn't recognize her. Shelby dropped her pen. You've got to be kidding. Andre stood up. So what now? We just sit here while everything falls apart? Let's slow down, Kenji started. No, let's not, Andre shot back. Let's talk real. We're bleeding money. We've lost 7 staff in 8 weeks. Monica showing up was our one shot. And she did, and we blew it. Shelby shut her lopped out. Honestly, if I'd been treated like that, I wouldn't come back either. Kenji didn't argue. He couldn't. Every point was true. He looked down again at the notes he pored over for days, points about vision, scalability, synergy, all irrelevant now. His phone remained still. No missed calls, no chances left. Meanwhile, across town, Monica sipped coffee, across from Derek Shaw, no pitch needed. Just a real conversation about vision, culture, alignment. They laughed about something small. She felt at ease. And more importantly, respected. Darrow Creative. They were no longer in the running. Not because of poor numbers, not because of messy org charts, but because someone at the front desk didn't recognize who she was. And didn't care enough to find out. Rec leaned in, the sleeves of his black t-shirt tugging slightly at his arms as he rested his elbows on the table. So what changed your mind? He asked, curiosity in his voice but no pressure. Monica offered a quiet smile, her fingers tracing the rim of her teacup. Let's just say, someone reminded me that first impressions still matter more than people think. Rhett grinned, a knowing look flashing across his face. Fair enough. She liked him. He didn't push too hard. He didn't try to impress her with rehearsed lines or inflated numbers. He simply showed up, real, steady, and respectful. His team had welcomed her at the door like they'd been expecting her all along. No suspicion, no glances up and down, no need to verify who she was. Someone even offered her a fresh croissant from the break room. And in that small kindness, in that unguarded warmth, Monica saw what mattered. Meanwhile, across town, Kenji Morse was sitting alone in his office. Door shut, blinds down, the spreadsheet on his laptop, once full of hope and projections, was now just a page of noise. Irrelevant. Empty. In the lobby where this all started, still buzzing with obliviousness, Karen, the receptionist, was back at her post, earbuds in, scrolling through her phone, utterly unaware that a 2-sentence dismissal earlier that morning had just unraveled everything the company was fighting to keep together. But for Monica, this wasn't just about one bad morning or one rude person. This was about something deeper, something that had lived under her skin for years. A truth she'd carried like a stone in her pocket, because Monica hadn't always been the CEO walking into meetings with million-dollar deals in her back pocket. Once upon a time, she was invisible, just another black woman with ambition and no connections. In 2009, she was living in a cramped one-bedroom apartment in Topeka, Kansas, working nights at a grocery store and weekends cleaning dentist offices. Every spare second went to learning how to code on a second-hand laptop with a cracked screen and a missing shift key. She built websites for local barber shops, clunky things with clashing colors and buttons that barely worked, but they got better. Cleaner, tighter, little by little. By 2013, she landed her first full-time job as a junior developer at a small company in Wichita. It paid $38,000, 0 cents a year, and she thought she'd made it. But then came the meetings where she was mistaken for the assistant, the coffee fetcher, the help. Even when she introduced herself, some folks still wouldn't meet her eyes. She never made a scene, she just took notes, mental ones, and the real ones in her phone. Every dismissal, every brush off, every side glance, not out of spite, out of intention. She didn't want revenge, she wanted to remember, to stay grounded if she ever made it to the other side of the table. In 2016, Monica launched Blue Slate Systems from a hot, noisy co-working space in Albuquerque, New Mexico. No venture capital, no advisory board, just her savings, her vision, and the belief that automation should be affordable for the little guy. In 3 years, her software quietly powered over 12,000 businesses. No flashy marketing, just word of mouth and results. She didn't care about titles. She didn't need people to bow when she entered a room. But she did believe in one thing: how you treat people matters. Especially the ones you think can't do anything for you. That's why when Taryn dismissed her at the front desk, Monica didn't fight back. She didn't flex, she didn't correct her, because it wasn't the first time and it wouldn't be the last. But this time she had the power to choose who deserved the opportunity, and it wasn't Daryl Creative. Rec hadn't tried to dazzle her with potential. He told her the truth. His company, Sparrow plus Slate, was still small, scrappy, hungry. But the bones were solid, the energy was real, the culture, human. By 10:20 a.m., they were already sketching numbers on a whiteboard. Back at Daryl, Kenji was spiraling. He called every number he had, texted, even DM'd her on LinkedIn for the first time in years. Nothing. He'd sent Shelby down to Taryn again, demanded a play-by-play. But it didn't matter anymore, because at 1:30, Shelby walked into his office holding her phone like a live grenade. "You need to see this," she said, without waiting for an invite. She turned the screen toward him. A tweet. The 6 words. "Treat everyone like they own the place." Attached was a photo, the skyline view from Sparrow plus Slate's top floor. No tags, no subtext. Just truth. Kenji stared at it. It hit harder than any email she could have written. No scandal, no shade, just a message. And the whole industry heard it. By 3 p.m., rumors had already started spreading. Clients called Shelby asking questions she couldn't answer. What happened? Was the deal really off? Did Monica really walk out because of a receptionist? Internally, they all knew the answer. Andre had already updated his resume and sent it to 3 agencies. Alyssa was searching job boards between meetings. Shelby was texting a recruiter friend in San Diego. And Taryn was still in the dark. Until Shelby pulled her aside. "You remember the woman you sent away this morning?" Shelby asked, her voice sharp. Taryn nodded slowly. "Yeah? Why?" "That was Monica Ellison." The blood drained from her face. "The Monica Ellison?" Shelby folded her arms. "Yes, the CEO, the investor, the one who was about to save this place," Taryn stammered. "I didn't know." "She didn't say." She looked. "You don't get to not know," Shelby cut in. "That is your job, to see people." Back in her new office, Monica wrapped her last meeting for the day. The sun was sliding low, shadows stretching across the walls. Her phone buzzed. Contract confirmed. Bear plus Slate was hers now. Daryl wasn't even a footnote anymore. Because this was never about them. It was about staying rooted in what mattered. By the end of the week, 5 of Daryl's clients had pulled out. Quiet exits, no confrontation, just silence. In the digital age, silence is a scream. Taryn stopped showing up by Monday. No email, no goodbye. HR couldn't reach her. And maybe out there, she was telling a version of the story where she was just misunderstood. But inside those glass walls, people remembered the truth. The layoffs kept coming. Another 5 by mid-month. 1 investor backed out, then 2. By the end of the quarter, Kenji stepped down. The board called it a strategic reorganization. Everyone else called it what it was, being pushed out. Shelby landed a creative director role in San Diego. Andre moved back to D.C. Alyssa left marketing altogether. Daryl Creative didn't close with a bang. It dissolved like sugar in warm water, fading without much fight. A private equity firm scooped up the scraps. The name was gone within the month. But Monica didn't tweet and "I told you so." She didn't bask in their fall. She didn't need to. She had other things to build. During a podcast interview weeks later, the host asked, "Do you ever regret not giving Daryl a second chance?" Monica smiled, calm and unbothered. You don't get a second chance to show people basic respect, she said. It's not about the deal, it's about that one moment when someone has the choice to be decent and they don't take it. I don't need apologies, I just pay attention. She let the silence breathe before adding, that's how you know a company's values. Not from their website, not from their mission statement, from how they treat people when they think nobody's watching. It wasn't bitterness, it was clarity. Because revenge fades, apologies don't always arrive. But what Monica had, what she built, was something untouchable. Options. And sometimes the quietest exit leaves behind the loudest echo.